guys, it's Miss Clark here over at Milam. Today we are going to learn about, or actually this week we're going to learn about an artist named Piet Mondrian. Here we have a picture of him. He was a Dutch artist born in 1872 and died in 1944. He is one of the first abstract artists in the 20th century, and he loved to use lines, shapes, and colors, as you see right there. There's some different kinds of lines we can use that I'm sure you've already learned about. A horizontal line, a vertical line, a wavy line, a zigzag line, and a loop-de-loop line. He liked to use all these lines and shapes and colors. What shapes do you see in this painting? That's right. I see squares and rectangles too. He has a lot of different colors. What colors do you see in this painting? Red, blue, yellow, black and white. Those colors, red, blue, and yellow, are the primary colors. That's where all the colors come from. So let's create our own art, just like Piet Mondrian. You are going to use a black crayon or a black marker. You might want to use pencil first. You might want to use pencil first in case you want to erase. But if you have a black crayon or black marker, we're also going to use our watercolors. But the only colors we're going to use in our watercolors are going to be the primary colors. So, blue, red, and yellow. In fact, I'm just going to move this one over here. So I'll just cover these other ones up. Mine are a little bit bigger than yours, but those are the only three colors we're going to use. All right. First, we're going to draw our painting, our picture. And so since Piet Mondrian liked to use lines and shapes, we're going to start with a shape. I'm going to start by drawing a square. You can choose to draw a square anywhere on your painting, on your picture that you would like to, okay? And then I'm going to make a rectangle over my square. You can put your rectangle anywhere you'd like to. Now we're going to draw some lines coming out of those shapes. All right? Anywhere you want to. Doesn't have to be in the same place that I'm putting mine. I'm just showing you how I think Mr. Mondrian made art. He would draw his lines. Sometimes some would be thicker. Sometimes some of the lines would be thinner. But they always ended up being rectangles and squares. You can just choose wherever you want to put yours. And usually the lines were always vertical and horizontal. They weren't ever diagonal. They might have been in some of his earlier art, but his later art, he was just a vertical and a horizontal guy. Okay, so you really can't do wrong as long as you're drawing lots of lines. I think that's good for me. If I can find my lid. Oh no. Oh, silly Miss Clark. It was on the end of my marker. All right. So now you're going to get your watercolors and your paintbrush. And what are those three colors? We're going to use the primaries. Now I've lost my paintbrush. Oh, there it is. It was hiding. Those three primary colors: red, blue, and yellow, just like Mr. Mondrian. Now, I'm using temper cakes just because I couldn't find the watercolors that I wanted to find. And you know what? I was fixing to tell you that we were going to start with yellow, and I just dipped it right in the blue. I try to start with my lightest color first. Okay? Don't do what Miss Clark just did. Hey, at least I didn't start painting yet. So I get water, and I put my water into my color and get it good and wet. Sometimes you just create a puddle in there. And I'm gonna paint inside of the shapes that I made, okay? I like to start with the lightest color first because if I had a little bit of color still left on my blue, on my paintbrush when I started with blue, like when I changed to yellow, it would be, oh, you know what? I used a water-soluble marker. I should have used a Sharpie or a crayon. I want y'all to use a crayon because you'll be able to see the wax resist when you are painting. And you'll be able to paint over the lines. Like, see right now, since I used a marker that was a water-soluble marker, it'll bleed, my black will bleed into my colors if I get too close to the lines. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do all of the yellow ones that I want. Oop, time to go. No, not really. You stay here and keep painting. So I'm just gonna do the yellow ones that I want. You're gonna be able to leave some of them black, some of them white, but we still want to get a lot of color on here. What do you think? Is this good enough? How about one more? Okay, I'm gonna do one more right here. Okay, now I'm gonna switch colors. Now I think I'll switch to red. So I'm gonna clean off my brush real good and wet my red. Make sure your brush is dancing lightly in the paint and lightly on the page. We never scoot the brush. We want to make sure our brush is always in good shape. Okay. Oh yes, that red looks nice. I'm gonna get a little more water and choose another spot that I want to be red. How about that one? You can choose whichever space you want to be one of the colors, red, blue, or yellow. And don't forget, leave some of them white. Mr. Mondrian would leave some of his white, and it looked really nice, the contrast against the colors. All right, and so he would do them about equal. He would do, if he did like 3 or 4 red, he'd do 3 or 4 yellow, 3 or 4 blue. So I'm on number 4 here. Since I did 5 yellow, I think I'm just gonna stick with 4 red because that's about close. All right, I'm gonna go for the blue now. So I'm cleaning off my brush in the water and I'm gonna swirl a puddle in the blue. All right. Oh yeah, that looks nice against the other colors, doesn't it? I like it a lot. Okay. Get a little more water. And I think this one will be a good spot for some blue. Get a little more paint. So don't forget, we're just using these 3 primary colors and leaving some white because we are painting just like Mr. Mondrian this week. Ooh, yes. I like it. I'm on my 4th blue. You may have many more spaces, and that's fine. I just like to draw my shapes big. I'm gonna do one more right up here. Okay, guys, that's about all for today. I can't wait to see your Mondrian inspired paintings. See you next time. Bye, guys.